Hey guys.
Hi.
Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Or should we be saying Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year.
Happy New
Hey
Year,
y'all, it's
definitely.
your cousins for life. We back.
Yes, it's been a minute.
We just took a little time, enjoyed our families, and we really hope that you enjoyed yours because we just, Vaughn got away. She left the cold state of Minnesota and came to the cold state of New Jersey. And Dad was in Atlanta where the temperature was just dropping. So
That's
we
what's
all were in the cold, but
hmm
we were with family. So how'd you guys enjoy your holiday?
Oh, me, I royally enjoyed it. Um, Anytime I can get a break, and then I come from the break and I'm still alive, I'm good.
Mine was great.
Hmm
Had a great time.
Yep. Family, friends, rest.
Oh yeah.
So Vaughn, you brought up something I thought it was rather interesting that Daph and I, we both thought it was interesting. We chat throughout the week and stuff, y'all. So we not just, fake cousins, we real cousins, we talk all the time. And we were talking about these New Year's resolutions. And Vaughn
Mm.
really had a different look at it. Well, we all did, but she was, Vaughn, you know what it. Go ahead, take it over.
Okay. Well, we were talking about resolutions, and for me, I think that a lot of times people make resolutions, and by the time they get to the middle of the year, is over. So,
February.
I like to say that it's more of a mindset reset. How we look at our mind and the way we think, and we have to reset our mind every year to do something different, and that's really hard for some people. You hear people say, well, this is just the way I am. They make excuses every single year why they didn't change, for whatever reason, and they go into the whole, well, I'll try again next year. But until you
You can close
change
the.
the mindset,
You can
a
close
lot
the.
of times you're just going to experience the same thing year after year because you
You can
refuse
close
to make
the.
the necessary changes to change to change the way you think, especially those negative thoughts, and um, encouraging those positive thoughts. So I think that that's the main thing with our mind.
Hmm
Yeah,
Yeah.
my thing is, either you gonna do it and stick to it, or you not. For me, I just never saw the sense of a New Year's resolution, because throughout the year, like you said, I have a mindset of doing different things. And there are sometimes I decide, what, I think I want to go in this direction. I set a goal and I work towards it. So it's a mindset and changing up. So it just is easier for me to say, either I'm going to do it or I'm not. I'm going to try, to stick to it, see what happens. And, we try to work it out. We just set goals and move forward.
Yeah. I think setting goals and resolutions are a little bit slightly different. Um, I think goals are definitely something that we feel like and we do try to make sure we achieve them and we write them down. And sometimes we forget to write those resolutions down. We just say, oh, I'm going to go on a fast. Oh, I'm going to lose weight. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym. Oh, but we don't really write it down. But goals, I know for me, I tend to write those down in my journal. I write a goal down. So I think it's just a teeny bit different
So
between the two.
I, for me, it's the same because you're either writing it down or you're not. It's just, you didn't write it down. Basically, you're working towards it and you wrote it down or you didn't.
And
So
if you
I don't.
don't, I think statistics has proven if we don't write it down, um, sometimes it's not something that we actually take serious enough. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that sometimes people struggle with, to take it off of us. I think that sometimes people do struggle with resetting their mind, which is why making resolutions doesn't even matter, because
Mhm.
it's the struggle of how do I do that. So some of the things that causes people not to be able to reset is, how they see themselves. Well, I didn't accomplish what I needed to in 2023, and I didn't accomplish what I needed to accomplish in 2024. So a lot of times we develop a failure mindset. The words that we speak into our life has a lot to do with how we think and how our mind goes as well. So when you talk about resetting your mind, a lot of times, in the previous shows, we've talked about it. It's like, well, why do I make excuses? Why do I do? Because it's just the way we think. A lot of times we'll say that I'm gonna have a better attitude this year, but our attitude still stinks. Why does it still stink? Because we don't change the way we think in order to have a better attitude. And a lot of times people don't think that there's anything wrong, or they're in denial, that they need to have a different mindset. So we go into year after year after year being the same, because nobody can tell us that, we do need to change. So I think that a lot has to do with that too.
So when you say a different mindset, that would say to me that we need to change the way we think. And if you don't change the way you think, there will be no change. There has to be a difference in what you do. So if, like you said, if we are continuously doing the same thing over and over again, or getting into it and it doesn't change, it's because there has been no change. So it has to be something that we face. We have to, look at, there's a problem, or sometimes you just get stuck and you just in a routine. And when you get stuck in that routine, it's hard to get out. But again, a change has to be made, but you first have to know you need a change.
Well, I think that a lot of times with that is, again, being able to do a self check, being able to look at ourselves and do self checks every day. I'm like, for me, I'm on this 30-day challenge right now, even for myself. Why do we say, like Daphne said, well, I'm going to lose weight, but you don't, because you don't even get your mind mentally prepared to be able to do that. I'm going to be better at my finances, but you don't get your mind ready to do that. I'm going to be more goal oriented, but you don't get your mind ready to do that. So if you don't prepare yourself mentally to be able to make the changes, that's why a lot of times changes don't get made, because we don't prepare our mind. We don't condition ourselves. One of the things that I've learned is, people struggle with having a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Fixed mindset people, they are hard to, it's like moving the elephant in the room. You trying to get them to change, and it's like, well, this is the way I've been doing it for however many years, so this is what's been working and this is what I'm going to do. But when you have a growth mindset, you're always constantly wanting to learn, how do I do differently? How do I speak differently? How do I act differently? I'm on I'm going to say social media, but YouTube. I do a lot of reflections, motivational things, just to kind of give me insight so I can learn how to be better. But a lot of times people don't utilize those tools that they have in order for them to become better. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of journaling. I do a lot of inquiring. I go to trainings. I'm always trying to find out, how can I be a better person? Because I know that there's always something that I need to fix. But a lot of people don't think that, because they don't do self-checks. So they think that, oh, I'm good. They fall out with people. They not good at work. They're not good socially, but they think that they're okay. So you have to constantly do a self-check to figure out, what's causing me in my mind to think that I don't have to constantly work on me and change.
And see, that's where I was talking about earlier on in the conversation. We have to put the work in. To put the work in, it's just something I just looked up. One thing is to write it down. Your mindset of what you want to do. And that's preparing you to have that mindset that will be stable and will stick to something. That's pretty much what I was
Well,
basically.
the constant reminders. So back in the day, I used to use a sticky method. The post-it, the sticky, and I would write positive things down, and I would write goals down, and it was just to remind myself what I was working towards. So basically, what you're saying the same thing. We're just journaling it, And a lot of times, Vaughn, what you were saying about the mindset and people, sometimes people have good intentions. They think about it, but they just can't seem to put it into actions, even after they've written it down, even after they've thought about it, even after they've researched it. They just can't put it into action. And sometimes it's because they're just stuck, and we have to give ourselves grace at that point to say, you know what, maybe not today, but take a deep breath, and tomorrow take a deep breath and maybe jump in with both feet instead of putting a toe in, to give ourselves a push. But everybody that thinks about it, that constantly is working on it, it just doesn't work like that for everybody. And I am a big fan of YouTube University, as it has been called, because it is, a lot of things out there that you can learn. A lot of things out there, it's a lot of seeds that have been planted, and they are growing. But the mindset is a big thing. It's big with your mindset.
Yeah, you definitely have to condition it. Vaughn said you have to be conditioned, just like in anything, in sports and working out and doing work, building your brand. You have to condition yourself, and condition yourself is a lot of levels to do that. And some people, like you said, have that mindset that is unshakable, unmovable. They're steadfast. And then you have some that waver and shake and move. And so we just probably, I'm thinking for me, I have a lot of goals and things that I set in place, and not necessarily for the first of the year, but just in general. And procrastination kicks in, that mindset of not being a procrastinator. And so we're still working through those type of things. And I would love some tips on how to stay steadfast and unmovable.
Well, I think that one of the things that that where I'm at now is I'm finding a lot of times where I haven't accomplished things is because I had a lot of distractions, clutter going on, unnecessary things, like how, for instance, how I start my day. I used to start my day with the first thing I did, I look at social media, I see what's going on TikTok, Instagram, and then, I start talking on the phone to people, and, then, before I know it, I'm rushing to go to work. And now my whole day has been how I started, because I started in a way where it just caused everything to be cluttered. So now what I've learned is, I start my day off in meditation. I start my day off quiet. I do my worship, I do my prayer, I do my reflections, and then I go into I start off thankful. Because a lot of times we wake up and we forget to just say, I'm grateful for this day. So, it's waking up with a grateful heart, grateful mindset.
Absolutely.
And then I go into the second thing I do is I find myself, after I've done my meditation and my journaling and everything, now I'm ready to get my day going. So I believe that how you start your day is how you're going to finish. I use those words of affirmation. I remind myself that I'm more than a conqueror. I remind myself that greater is he that is in me.
I'm sure you have to do that throughout the day as well.
But I think that how you start your day, I've never been a person to like to start my day chaotic, because I always feel like I'm in a rush. So, I get up in enough time to get my day going in a peaceful way. I may listen to some quiet music, but I found that getting rid of the distractions is really a big part. Not allowing a lot of, like, I've heard people been telling me, girl, I'll be calling you. I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody in the morning, because in the morning is my time. It's my time to be able to get myself together. And people struggle with that. People struggle with folk call them and the phone ringing and this is going on and this is going on. But sometimes you have to tell people this, I need this hour to get my day together. I need to have my time of quietness, music, whatever sets your day, so that your day starts well. Then and then once you get to work, now you just following suit. You're going with the flow. But the procrastination part, I'm finding with my own business now, I'm like, I'm working on it every day. And now I'm up to an hour a day, but I started 30 minutes. I started with, just going to the coffee shop, and just sitting down and working on my goal. And so a lot of times atmosphere changes everything. And when you have chaos going on, you can't think. You tend to just say, well, I'll get it done tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. So it's like you have to set the tone in your life, because however your life is, if it's real super busy, then you just doing a lot of stuff. But if you're goal driven, then you're going to have to declutter and get rid of some of the distractions.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know I heard somebody say, I think it was Priscilla Schreier. She said something about try to get up at 4 a.m. If you work in the mornings, get up at 4 a.m. and see what changes. It's something about 4 a.m, getting your day started, doing your affirmations, doing your prayer time, doing your goals, setting your mind right, getting your mind together to take on your day. And I believe that.
It does. It works. It works.
And I'm just going to say, I'm constantly trying to make sure that procrastination doesn't sneak up on me. I think that right now we could be good, but then a month or a year later, we can slip back. So we just got to constantly, like Lee said, I think Lee said it, just constantly have a little grace. I think she said a little grace, and then brush yourself off, right? Like Lee said, brush yourself off and try again.
You give yourself just a little grace. Oh crap, I fell off. Oh man, I messed up. But don't stay messed up.
Right.
Yeah.
You say, oh crap, I messed up. I'm gonna finish out this week. Messed up. And I'm gonna, pick up where I left off. And I often say, and I said this to my children, to some of my ex-staff and, friends and whatever, give yourself enough grace to know that you don't have to pick up where you left off. It's okay to start over. It's okay. Just start over. You don't have to pick up where you left off because you may be, let's go with the weight. Okay. I've lost 6 pounds and I gained 2 back. You can't start where you left off because you're already 2 pounds behind, so just start over.
Yeah.
But at some point,
it's okay, to, say, it didn't work out. I'm just going to move on. Just move on. As long as you don't stop, you are doing well. As long as you don't stop.
At some point, though, we got to take a little bit more accountability, I feel.
Yeah.
At some point.
But that's what I'm saying. At that point, you say, okay, I messed up. Now I'm starting over.
But I think you also have to adopt the spirit of consistency.
Right.
And I think that is what we struggle with. It's okay. I agree with you. But if every single year, now we're talking about getting something done. Mm-hmm. If every single year I'm saying, okay, well, I'm going to give myself grace. Yeah, I'm going to give myself grace. But that goes back to your mindset. Now I have to be honest with myself, and I have to say what is going on with me that I can't be consistent, because the consistency is what causes me to get to the next level. If every time I mess up and I'm just like, oh, I messed up and, now I'm gonna start all over again, I'm not going to get to the finish line, because that's not how a race is ran. So I have to actually develop a spirit of consistency. And that means that now I got to do a mind check. I gotta look at, go, okay, what's going on with me in the way I think that is causing me not to move forward in what I'm trying to do. And I'm consistent with it. I'm constantly moving. And yeah, there may be that time that you have a little stumble, but I believe that a lot of times when we stumble, we stay there, like Lee was saying, you get stuck, but then you start making excuses. Well, you know what, I got off track with my eating or got off track with my exercising, so now you never get back on track. You got to snap back quickly. You got to be like, you know what, yep, I fell off, I'm getting back up and I'm keeping
It's
going.
true,
You know,
because if you
it's like
stay off
falling
too
when you run a
long,
race. You can't stop and then go back to the starting line.
it's
If you
true.
fall,
If
you got to
fall
get
off,
back up and you got to keep going. You got to be like, okay, I got to catch up and I got to keep going. So I think that a lot of times we don't develop that mindset of, okay, there's no failures, it's just lessons learned. But I don't have time to start all over, because we be starting all over. I'd be like 80 years old and never
now,
been
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Yeah,
saying start over all the time. What I'm
yeah,
saying
you gotta
is
put
that
yourself in check.
we have to be able to say, okay, but at some point, where after you start over, you have to say, okay, I start over, and now I'm going to move forward. And then you move forward. I'm not saying start over every month, and I do concur with what you're saying. It is a mindset, and it's about being diligent, being consistent. And, that's something that we all have to pray for. We all have to pray for that, to help us, be diligent in what we're doing, to help
It's
us to stay focused, because if you're not focused, you will vary off. That's
and
why the horses have those blinders on,
yeah,
because
I
they will stray off. They nosy animals and they scare easy. So that's why they wear blinders. They put those blinders on them to keep them focused, because without those blinders, they totally distracted. They everywhere running, jumping,
another thing that uh, that I think that would be a good fit would be actually having accountability partners, accountability people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Vaughn, you had a thing. I was trying to send it to you, but you never looked at your phone. The thing you had with the mantra with the minds, for
Yeah.
each letter, with that thing that you had, what was it standing for?
I am looking for it and I cannot find it.
Oh, okay.
But
But
nevertheless, I think that you ladies are on the right track, because at some point we got to be held accountable for our constant restartings. Because at some point we got to stop the restarting and get something done. Like Von said, we could be 80 years old. And also we have accountability partners and people that are holding us accountable, and we hold ourselves accountable. Things may change. So,
Well, I think that
with
also.
that, go ahead, Vaughn.
Go ahead. I'm looking for it.
Also with that, you have to remember that somebody is always watching you. You have no idea the impact, that you have on somebody else. And they're watching, we are all a mentor in some way, and we don't even realize it. There's somebody watching, saying, well, she did it, I could do it. They did it, I can do it. And I think if we keep in the back of our head that, we are mentors at some aspect, somebody's watching and looking up to us, because they are, I can't tell you how many people have said to me, you have no idea. And I'll be like, yeah, I don't. I don't know how. I don't know when, just in things that they see me go through, getting it done. As long as we moving forward, like you said, staying focused, moving forward, we're getting it done.
another thing is, another good point to look at is putting ourselves in the circle of people that are consistent, that are doing things similar to what we were doing, other things. Yeah, that would also help with that mindset, being focused and consistent.
Well, see, I think that
you cannot be the smartest person in your group. If you're the smartest person in your group, you won't ever learn anything.
I think that when you have that mindset of I want to constantly grow, then you can be one of the smartest people, but you still that, like, people, they don't understand, like, having a mentor, having a coach, having an accountability person is really, really awesome, because then you're constantly pulling. It's kind of like each one teach one, so I don't know everything. Yeah. You don't know everything. So it's like being able to learn. I remember when I was growing up, and some of my mentors, they were kind of tough, when I was in my 20s, I never forget, I had one of my mentors, and gosh, it seemed like every time I turned around, I was getting called on the carpet. And I remember asking her one day, I said, "What is it?" And she told me, she said, "You know what?" She said, "When you get to the end of yourself and you start really, really understanding, you know, who God has created you to be, and you change your mindset," she said, "you want to be powerful." She said, "But you got to learn some things." She said, "Because you young and you just going. And a lot of times that's how it is. It's like we just going. We don't take the time out to step back and go, who can I learn from? Wait a minute. I'm always looking for women of grace. I'm always looking for women how they carry themselves, and, how they speak, and because I want to do better. I'm like, I want to be a better mom. I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better, leader, so I'm always looking at different people who have different things to share, so that I'm like, oh, I like the way she said that. I like the way she moved. I like the way she treats her husband. I like that. A lot of times we don't take the time out to really want to learn, so that, because we think that we at 50, 60, I got it all together. No, you never have it
You
all
ain't
together.
got it
You're
together.
always learning. So I think that is developing a mindset to want to learn, to want to have an accountability person. And Daphne, I have always lived by that. I have always had great mentors and great accountability in my life. You just don't know. That is so important. Sound wisdom is so important, to be able to call someone that you trust, that knows you, that you can say, this is what I'm struggling with, and how do I get out of it? And that person has your heart in the right place. You can't go wrong with that. Accountability, not from people out there that just want to gossip and all of that, is sound mind people that that you can call and you can trust.
Right. Somebody that has that success story.
Exactly.
Also,
And that has your best
good
interests
way
at heart.
to is to read, watch videos, be a part
Yep.
of organizations, be in leadership classes, trainings. Those things can condition your mindset.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And these are the
Absolutely.
things that we have to move toward. Like I said, YouTube University. If you don't have a person that you could talk to or go to,
Mm-hmm.
or you're not sure, it's out there. It's out there. Whatever you want to improve on, you know, um, you can find it. You can find it. There are many people who just go on and just start talking. And sometimes I've come across some things that, hey, I'm struggling with that. I'm a grazer. I don't know if you know that term, but being a grazer means you're the type of person, if there's this much space in your belly, you want to fill it up. So I will eat all day long, if I'm allowed, but I had to learn. I had to go the old fashioned way, go to the good diet doctor for him to teach me, see a psychologist on how not to eat all day, how to do it 6 times a day and not do it all day long. But I'm still at that point. I still struggle with it. But there are times when I have to remind myself, get my mind reset, that how this got you in trouble before. Don't do that. Go back to square one.
Another thing that might be a good point is to maybe get away. Maybe stow away and
Change
really,
your environment.
yeah,
A
like
change of
get away, like
environment a
truly,
lot
like
of times help
vacation,
people
or
restore.
right, vacation, something that, or if you feel like you're slipping, a place. You know how like the war room had the room, a place that you can go, that that you have equipment in this place or this area or this space.
Yeah,
Um,
Vaughn spoke on that
yeah,
earlier.
yeah, and so Yeah, I'm sure she did, but I probably forgot.
No,
Yeah, but I think
it's a
that
change of environment. Changing
a
your
lot of times,
environment means, I mean, will change everything. You know, they say a scattered room is a scattered mind. You know, so just changing your environment. There have been times I just go sit in my car because I just needed to clear my head. Not that I couldn't clear it in the house,
No, sometimes
but
you can't.
there's
You got too
nothing
much
in the
going on
car.
in the house. Too much in the house.
You
Too much
know,
house going
no,
on. When you got the kids, you got the grandkids,
yeah.
you got
So you know,
the
sometimes
husband
the
and all
car is
that.
just the quietest place.
Yeah.
but I think that for me, my home, this is just me. My home has to be my peace. You know, when I walk in the door, my home is my peace, and that's important for me because for so many years it took me a long time to get to that place because again I used to have so much going on, and so I think that I finally got it, you know, because God had to really speak to me. I took on so much, you know, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. I didn't learn how to say no, I can't. I didn't learn to say no, this is not necessary. But in my latter years, in my older years now, and I think I was talking to Aunt Carol, and she said, you know, it's okay to lay in the bed and rest. It's okay to not answer
It
the
is.
phone every time somebody
Mm-hmm.
calls. It's okay because a lot of times people, and I believe that this is why a lot of people get um, the Alzheimer's really, really young because their mind is so cluttered and so busy. It's like you got to shut it down. So that's why now I'm like, I used to have, I was talking to one of my students yesterday, and I said, I used to be on 17 hours of screen time because I would constantly be on the phone. I said, now I look at my screen time. I don't even know, think it's an hour because I hardly ever talk on my phone. I hardly ever pick up my phone because a lot of times now I so value my peace. So when I come home, all I want to do, if I want to just sit and do some stuff on my computer, I don't want to be on the phone and be doing that. I don't want to be so busy. I finally got to that place, and that was a growth for me where hey, I'm okay with sitting by my fireplace, writing in my journal, reading a book, and I'm good. I don't have to have those conversations of hours and hours and hours with people on the phone. And so I think that a lot of times we think that these are the things that we need to do, but sometimes people don't value your space. They don't, like you said, you don't get away and you don't tell people no. You know, this is my life. This is what I want. Now, some people don't have goals when they start getting older. They're like, you know, I don't really want to. I have things I still want to accomplish. I can't accomplish them if I'm being busy accomplishing stuff that don't even matter. So I've learned to say no. You know,
Make
this
yourself a
is my life.
priority.
This
Make
is
yourself a
I'm a
priority.
priority.
Hmm.
Well, that's about resetting our minds to take care of ourselves. That's another thing that
Hmm.
we have to do. We must reset um, to do self care
Yeah.
because without self care, we can't really do anything. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody and anything else.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to really take care of yourself. So we have to go with the mindset of, changing our minds to do
Hmm.
to stick to it. First of all, is what I'm
Hmm.
understanding,
Hmm.
and self care.
Right, right. I
You
agree.
know,
And also, when you say self-care, Lee, I know you probably like what you talking like pampering yourself and even taking a walk.
no,
Taking a
take a
walk.
Oh
walk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Self
Yeah.
care is, I mean, it's so broad. You
You
know,
clutter your mind.
there's a thing. People just need. It's newer now, called a mental health day. Sometimes you don't even need the whole day. Sometimes you just need
I
a
need the whole
few
day.
hours.
I need the whole doggone day.
Yeah,
My
I need
own
the whole
mental
day.
health, just to stir around in my
I
own
take the whole
thoughts.
day.
Just to stir around in your own thoughts. There are times there's a lake not far from my home, and I go down and I walk sometimes just the path, and it's so beautiful that it really transforms, just my mind. It really clears my mind, just taking that walk. Sometimes I just drive over there and sit in the car, look at the water. The water ain't doing nothing. You know, it's
But I
just
think
there.
that a lot of it has to do with your personality type too, because I find I thrive better
I
when
like me.
I don't have a lot of, like, some people do good with having busy lives. I do better I'm when I'm in my peace. I just do, because I think better. I make better decisions. I don't do well in like I talk to people all the time. They're like, oh, my house is chaotic and this is going on. I don't do well like that. So a lot of times I have to say no, because I'm like, no, this ain't going to work. I just don't do well in those type of atmospheres. But I think that also, and I want to elaborate on what Daphne said, sometimes you do need to take a trip. Nature is, I'm big on nature. I love camping, I love fishing, I love just going, and the outdoors does it for me. I like real camping. I like sleeping in the tent. I'm a glam girl, but I like they call it glamping, clamping, whatever you want to call it. But I really actually love sleeping in a tent in a air mattress outside.
I'm
So
good with that.
I'm going to do that, but I'm doing it in the RV. Okay.
I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm not going outside the worms. I'm good.
I'm doing it in the RV.
and that's what I'm saying. It's like
I'm gonna go to the beach,
finds,
Ron. Go to the beach.
everybody finds their peace in different ways. I'm just one of those people. I love nature, and I think that when you find whatever your peace is, like, there's days where I can just sit all day and listen to music. I'll have my
I can do that all the
microphone.
time.
I walk around my house and I sing, and I'm so glad that I'm married to the person I'm married to, because he will listen to me sing about 40 songs before he texts my mom and say she's still singing. It's like, because he knows that when I start doing that, I'm in my peace, and he lets me stay there. He don't say, babe, you've been singing for 5-6 hours. When you gonna sing the last song? But that's what takes me into my peace. So, again, I think that we have to find that. And I encourage women, because a lot of times we struggle with that. We struggle with the stress, especially when we're older. You have a lot of older women that they're dealing with a lot of stressful situations that is not their situation. It's situations that other people put on us.
Reset.
And you have to
Reset.
reset. And you have to learn how to use that universal word, no. Everything is not something that you have to fix. You don't have to fix everything. And I am a leader, but at the same time, I don't have to fix every single thing that's broken. And so I think that we, especially as women, when you get in your 50s, you need to learn how to say no. You need to put it back on whoever it was created from, and let them fix it, because you will always never have that time to just woosah and find that peace in your life, because you're constantly allowing people to dump stuff on you. So you have to reset. And this year, let it be where you step into that, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it for me. Sometimes you got to be selfish. You got to just be like, you know what? I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to cut off negativity. I'm going to cut off what I don't have time, girl, to gossip with you this morning. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to be on the phone with you for 20, 30, 40 minutes talking about nothing. We're not talking about things that's going to be uplifting, building, whatever. I don't want to talk. You have
That's true. That's true.
Because those are the things that causes our mind. Think about how many times people call you and they're like, girl, this happened. By the time you get on your job,
become the garbage can.
and you become the garbage can. So now you got all this stuff in your mind.
Like you protect your peace. You got to protect your mind.
Exactly.
The mind won't be set.
And that's exactly what a lot of people do. Even the news. I hear so many times people are like, well, this is what's going on in the news. I'm like, let me tell y'all something. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But I believe that God is in control. So I'm not sitting back trying to watch the news every day, trying to figure out somebody going to make a decision on what they're going to do. You got to protect your mind and what goes in your mind. When you're looking at social media and all the garbage, even I'm at the place where I only want to watch movies that are edifying, because I get tired of watching the garbage. I'm like, the garbage is the garbage. When do we get to the place where we're like, you know what? I don't want to watch that. I don't want to do this. I just want to do stuff that is positive, so that, like Lee said, we're mentors. These young people are depending on us. How are we going to get them to the next level if we're not doing it ourselves? So we have to recondition our mind so that they can recondition their mind. And if they see us walking in our peace, then they'll walk in their peace. They're like,
they want to know how. They
exactly.
Want to know what did you do to get there? How did you
exactly
do that? What in the world? I have had so many. How did you? I don't understand. I just don't see what made you, and sometimes it's not even your own personal, journey. It's just to let them know that they can do it too.
Oh yeah.
It's just a mindset that, it's the mindset. We have to condition ourselves, and reset our minds that we're not doing it that way no more.
Right.
To say it that we're not doing it that way, not no more. We have to change and move on to a different path. And
then once we realize that we're going to have to definitely, again, going back to hold ourselves accountable.
Exactly.
And that's what helps us the most, is being accountable. I did something a few years ago where I marked the calendar every day to see how many days, I was okay. I made it through that. I made it through that day. I made it through that day. And I looked, it was the day just to see. I was holding myself accountable for how many days I had done it, and they say that only 21 days forms or breaks in habit.
Oh yeah.
That's all it takes is 21 days. I can't tell you how many times I didn't make it past 12. Didn't make it past 12, and then I start. All right, now I got to 15. And then okay, now, but I finally make it. Once you get to the 21, you home free. It's just the due diligence. You have to condition and reset your mind that, okay, I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to change it. Now, it is changed. We speak things that are not as if though they were. I am. It is.
Yeah.
I have.
Absolutely.
So
First person.
that helps to condition our mind as well.
Oh yeah.
So
those words of affirmation are important.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely.
Ooh, ladies,
well, this has been
up a storm.
This has been. We haven't had any pop-ons, but this has been definitely a great way to start off the new year and a great topic.
Yeah.
We've been talking about mindset, reset, and we have some really great topics coming up in the next few weeks. So we encourage all of our viewers. We do air every Wednesday, 8:00 Eastern Standard. Every other Wednesday. And we air Central Time. It is 7:00. And so I encourage you to like and share. We are the Cousins for Life. Join our page. We put some good stuff on there. So, check us out. But we are so excited about what's going to take place this year, because we're going to reset our mind first so that, we're practicing what we preach. Okay. So, Daphne, any final words?
No, I would just say
reset your mind to for this year.
I would just say that I reset my mind to be more consistent, because one thing I realized that I have done is that from dating and from other friends and stuff, I'm always holding someone else accountable for things like, oh, you said you was going to do, you said we was going to do, you said you was going to handle that, you said you was going to do this for your life. But then I had to put it back on me when you point to other people. The other finger is pointing back at me. And I was like, I need to be more consistent. And so this year, I think the overall picture for me is consistency. And I think if I have that, down. Like, of course, we're going to always be growing. You know, that's life. You're going to grow and grow and grow. But I need to get closer in. I need to closing the gaps. Okay. And so once I close in some more of those gaps as I'm closing, everything else will fall into place for me. So it's consistency. It's with people. It's with things. It's with life. It's with my own making myself a priority. It's with church. It's with singing. It's with everything that I do.
I like that. And I'm on that same journey. You know, I started I'm doing the 30-day challenge for myself because I'm a firm believer. If I can't do it, I can't teach it. So I'm doing my 30-day balanced life challenge, and I believe that it's going to work because I'm going to be consistent with it, and I'm holding my own self accountable. I'm at the place where I don't want accountability. I hold me accountable because I'm that grown now. I'm like, girl, you can do it. Get up and do it. And that 4 o'clock in the morning is hard, but I'm doing it, you know, because it's necessary. And I think that how you start is how you finish. So I'm excited about 2025. I really am.
Yeah, that 4 o'clock in the morning thing, for me wasn't ever really hard because it was my hour. You know, it was my God hour. And I remember reading somewhere that is the God hour between 3 and 5 a.m. is the God hour. So when you are awake and you meditate, you know, talking to God or just listening, you know, we have to remember that's the one thing we have to remember. While after we finish talking, relax for a minute. That's the meditation part, to listen, you know, and you'll get a lot of direction, you know, because that 4 o'clock hour is a good hour. This year, you know, we got some plans. We got some plans. We want to do some things a little differently, but you know, and we've set some goals, you know, that I'm looking forward to. You know, some things that I think are going to grow us, you know, outside the pot.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to grow us outside the pot. So I'm looking forward to 2025 and all its goodness, its wonderfulness, and its lessons, you know, that it will teach as well.
Absolutely.
Ladies, I do want to tell y'all something real quick. Remember, you're the look.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all looking kind of cute too. I want to tell y'all.
You're the look, and since you're the look, a balanced life to a better you. Remember that, because without that balance, I don't know. It's working for me. It really is. I'm doing it myself, and then I'll be able to tell everybody about it. But it's working. Cool. So again, you've been watching Cousins for Life. We are the cousins. Right. We are truly cousins. And the cousins 4.
Is that the right way?
Your other hand, Dad.
4. We want to thank everybody.
It looks like a claw.
That's because you're using the wrong hand.
This one, it feels weird. Cousins for Life, we love you.
We love you. Join the show next in 2 weeks. We got a great topic. In the meantime, like and share. Bye.
Bye, Lee. Bye, Yvonne.
Bye.